Shalom Israel. Before I start, I want to give all glory, honor, and praises to Yahweh, Hashem, Yahushai, Baharaka Kadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles in Israel who rule and teach well, to the Akim on the highways and byways and those pushing this word in truth, sincerity, to the brothers and sisters in the truth. Now, I came across a lesson, and what the teacher in the lesson, the elder in the lesson, asked those that was listening is name some of the future trials and tribulation that we will face. Now, a brother stood up and, he named certain things, and then the elder said, what some of the economic situations that we may face? And the brother said, oh, well, you taught us that the chip don't make you sin. And that's what I want to touch on. The chip, it says the chip don't make you sin. Now, we know that sin is a transgression of the law. But also, if the Most High tells us to do something and we don't do it, that is also sin. So I just want to quickly bring out a precept just to clarify what I'm saying. Yeah. 1 Samuel 15. Now, when you read 1 Samuel 15, the Most High tells Saul to go and destroy Amalek. And what does Saul do? It says in verse 15, but Saul and the people spared Agag and the best of the sheep and of the oxen and of the fatlings and the lambs and all that was good, and would not utterly destroy them. But everything that was vile and refused, that they destroyed utterly. Yeah? So the Most High told them to destroy everything. Man, woman, child. Let me quickly find that. Verse 3. 1 Samuel 15:3. Now go and smite Amalek and utterly destroy all that they have, and spare them not, but slay both man and woman, infant and suckling, ox and sheep, camel and ass. So we just read that King Saul didn't do that. So, Samuel pulled him up about it. And this is what King Saul says. 1 Samuel 15:24. And Saul said unto Samuel, I have sinned. Why? For I have transgressed the commandment of the Lord and thy words, because I feared the people and obeyed their voice. So, yes, we know that sin is a transgression of the law, but if the Most High tells you to do something or not do it, and you do contrary to what he says, that is also sin. So for the brother to say, in response to the question that the elder asks, what's some of the economical ways that will go through trials and tribulation, and for the brother to say, oh, well, you taught us that taking a chip does not cause us to sin. This is Revelation 13 and verse 16. It says, and he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in the right hand or in the foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or of the number of his name. When we go to 14 and 9, Revelation 14 and 9, where it say, and the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image, and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of the Most High, which is poured out without mixture, into the cup of his indignation, and he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. But the point I wanted, it says, if any man worship the beast and his image and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand. So this mark that it's dealing with is actually referring to the chip. So for the young brother, for the brother to say, 'cause I don't know how old he is, the chip does not cause us to sin, and this is what the elder is teaching him. Let's have a look at a few of these things here. Yeah? So this is a video called Microchip Implants for Payment Becoming Reality. And this is where the sin of joy come in. I just read 1 Samuel 15. So let me bring this precept out before I go to that video. This is Isaiah 13 and 13. 13 and 14. And it shall be as a chase roe, and as a sheep that no man taketh up. They shall every man turn to his own people, and flee everyone into his own land. Here's my point. Everyone that is found shall be thrust through, here it is, and everyone that is joined unto them shall fall by the sword. So if you're joining onto these other nations, meaning taking part in their ways, yeah, which the Most High told us not to do, which would be to receive his mark, yeah, that RFID microchip, then you're actually sinning. You're going against the commandment, as King Saul said in 1 Samuel 15:24. And Saul said unto Samuel, I have sinned, for I have transgressed the commandment of the Lord. And his commandment was to destroy Amalek, man, woman, child, and animal. So on and so forth, which he didn't do. So we being told not to take that mark. Oops, lucky. We being told not to take that mark, yeah, and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand. The same shall drink of the wine, the wrath of the Most High. This is something we shouldn't do. So let's see how us disobeying this command here by the Most High is dealing with the microchip. You know, this is microchip implants for payment become reality. Now watch this.
Listen to this. Instead of carrying your wallet in your back pocket or your purse, a tech company wants you to keep it under your skin.
All right, so let's explain here. Wallet
Oh,
More is
and this video here is 8 months old.
selling microchips implanted in your hand as an alternate payment. Could this be the future? Maybe. Once you set up your card info in the company's app, look at this. It says payments could be as easy as swiping your hand over a card reader. Right now, chips are not sold in the U.S. Right?
So this is not difficult to understand. Now, part of that system would be, you know, which China has, is a social credit system. So I just want to quickly read up on that. Is they do make an error in this. I think the error is intentional because they're not trying to give away anything that would link the mark with what they're dealing with. So China's social credit system, yeah, says the social credit system is a national credit rating and blacklist being developed by the government of the People's Republic of China. So the Social Credit Initiative calls for the establishment of a record system so that businesses, individuals and government institutions can be tracked and evaluated for trustworthiness. There are multiple different forms of social credit system being experimented with, while the national regulatory method is based on blacklisting and whistling, slacker and whitelisting. So the program is mainly focused on businesses and is very fragmented, contrary to the popular misconception that it is focused on individuals and is a centralized system. And this is the error here, where it says the program is mainly focused on businesses. That's incorrect. It's focusing on individuals. Businesses will be a part of that, and I'm going to show you. Now this clip here, I'm going to play this and then I'll play another clip just to show that it's actually dealing or focusing on individuals. This video is by Council Free. It says Jordan Peterson about digital ID and social credit system. Let's have a listen to this.
Do you think what we did during COVID could usher in our version of a social credit system?
Oh yes, definitely. Yeah,
And
that's
that it would-
highly probable.
And that it will be accepted by many people because, again, that
They wouldn't even
yearning
notice.
for safety.
And this video here is 3 weeks ago, not that old.
They won't notice it. Yeah. You can't believe how much people don't know these things. When I went to the UK, I talked to some people from the House of Lords, this is within the last 6 months, the most astute of the people sitting in the House of Lords had only become aware of the woke movement in the last 18 months. Oh yes, you just can't believe how much this is not on people's radar. Not someone like you can't believe
Yeah,
that.
that it's not on people's radar. Even some brothers, and sisters that's in the truth, it is still not on their radar. As much as we may be telling you what the MOTB is and how they're laying the foundations for it to come about, it's still not on your radar.
Not at all, because it's on your radar all the time. That's not, you live in a world that's on the cutting edge of this sort of thing. It's like, people have no idea. It's like, well, why not have a digital passport? I mean, how convenient. It's like, fair enough, and you can understand that. Wouldn't it be nice if we could pay for everything with our phones? It's like, wouldn't it be nice if the central government, who's woke-oriented and makes carbon dioxide remediation a priority, knows exactly what you spend on everything so they can target you tax-wise with precision? It's like, oh, didn't think about that. Yeah, you sure didn't. Oh yes, it's highly probable it'll be a miracle if we escape from that.
And
You
does
can
this
see these
and
signs
does
of
this
it.
sound like he's talking about business or individuals? Going back to the article, 'cause like I said, the article is trying, even though it's giving you the understanding to some extent, it's also being deceptively incorrect.
Everywhere, when you go through airports now, there's a lot of automated barriers. You show your passport. It's like, well, these are automated barriers. What if you can't go through them? Well, that's the situation for many people in China. It's like, what are you going to do? You're going to argue with the machine? But you just cannot imagine how screwed you are. It's way worse than anything Kafka ever imagined. Because at least with Kafka, there was bureaucrats. Faceless though they may have been, they were at least still human. Once the machines can lock you out, you are in such trouble. And we're speeding towards that with an immense lack of care.
See, now, like I said in this article, the social credit system is a national credit rating and blacklist being developed by the government of the People's Republic China. So let's look at their social credit system, and you'll see that it's mainly, I'm saying, businesses might not be incorporated into this, but it's also dealing with individuals. Yeah, so watch this. I won't play all of this. Played this before, but playing it again.
They're constantly monitored by facial recognition cameras that are able to instantly put a face to a name.
Now, is that talking about businesses or individuals? You decide.
Now the Chinese are also ranked, given a mark out of a possible 950 points. The score in the 700s is considered good, around the 500 mark is not. For now, the number is a sort of bank credit rating, keeping track of everyone's spending habit.
The society has to have rules. It forces us to be well behaved.
It may seem scary, but it's
And these are the simple ones, yeah? Those that ain't actually paying attention to what they're saying or what's going on around them.
just like that here. We're used to it, and anyway, we don't have a choice. But in an effort to keep all of its subjects in line, Beijing is taking the system a step further in 2020. It's aggregating data gathered by banks, private companies, and the state to rate if someone's a good or bad citizen.
By using the most data possible, so-called big data, the system will in rebuilding a moral society.
The state will go
Let me jot
over
that back
every
in.
detail.
By using the most data possible, the so-called big data, the system will play an important role in rebuilding a moral society.
The state will go over every detail of a person's life with a fine-tooth comb. The financial situation, spending habits, career, even behavior on social media.
Now, let me know if this, or, is this actually talking about individuals or businesses? Like I said, yes, businesses may be caught up in this, but it's also dealing with individuals. This is why I said this article here is being deceptive. Yeah, it's being deceptive.
Advertising the government online or displaying outward signs of wealth is a no-no. On the other hand, praising the party or giving blood increases your social credit. Xiao Wen Wang is a model citizen. She lives in Nanjing, a testing ground for social ranking. Married with a child, she has a job in a retirement home, no debts, and she wouldn't dream of jaywalking.
As a good citizen, I respect the rules of the road. If I didn't, I'd lose points on my social
That's control, yeah, which is what the elites are looking for. Total control over you, man.
credit.
In theory, everything can be taken into account in the social score, even the most innocuous errands like supermarket shopping. When Xiao Wen Wang makes an electronic payment, her purchases tell the state a lot about her. Buying cigarettes would count against her. On the other hand, nappies show she's an attentive mother. Beer could indicate alcoholism. She'd be better off buying water. In this pilot city of 8 million people, there are 800 model citizens. For Xiao Wen Wang, there were perks to be had, such as paying half price for the bus.
I get discounts for public services, even at museums. And the library.
A good score brings benefits, but people with low scores lose rights. The cinema names and shames people considered untrustworthy, plastering their details, even their addresses, across big screens.
It's a matter of principle. Those people have to be condemned.
Those people aren't honest, so they have to pay the price.
Like I said, these are the simple ones. You said those people are not honest, but they have to pay the price. And you're going to see what comes up in a minute.
It's only right to pay your debts. You have to blacklist those that don't.
The Supreme Court has created a blacklist for so-called bad citizens, those whose ratings have dropped to zero. On it are companies, but also 23 million people to date.
You hear that? So there's companies on there, but there's also individuals on this blacklist.
Among them is this journalist Liu Hu. He got a little too close to uncovering corruption among high-profile party members. After being sued for defamation by the subject of a story he'd written, he was blacklisted.
So you see, this is a journalist who got too close to uncovering corruption. And now he's blacklisted. Yeah, showing you how simple some of these people are, man. Yeah, some of these people are simple. So, you know, to say that the chip, you know, will not lead you to sin, will not cause you to sin. It will, because the Most High told us not to take it. Yeah, we know that sin is transgression of the law, but I showed you in an example in 1 Samuel 15, where Saul was given an order to do something and he didn't complete it, and he ended up saying, 1 Samuel 15:24, and Saul said unto Samuel, I have sinned, for I have transgressed the commandment of the Lord. Now and thy words, because I feared the people and obeyed their voice. And what was his commandment given? Verse 3, now go and smite Amalek and utterly destroy all that they have, and spare them not, but slay both man and woman, infant and suckling, ox and sheep, camel and ass. That was his order, but he didn't do that. He saved Agag and those of the best flock. Yeah, that's where the sin came in, because he disobeyed the word of the Most High. And the word of the Most High says what? I'll read this again. Revelation 14:9. And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship a beast and his image, and receive his mark, which is that RFID chip, in his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of the Most High, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation. And he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. Yeah, so the commandment that we are given is not to receive that mark, not to take that chip. So you taking it, you will be sinning, because the Most High told you not to. Yeah. So with that, I'm going to close out and give all glory, honor, and praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Bahar Bakar Kadash, Kwame Sha'ala.